Hello, everybody. This is Double Team Man with another under 15-minute video. It is Sunday, April 21st, 2024. About 4 or 5 days until the draft on Thursday. This is a really useless draft because I really didn't study the players. Studied the quarterbacks, know a little bit about the Steelers, not much about the players. Let's get the sucker started. Starts off with these are the draft picks as they stand now, subject to change. Who knows? I have them taking Chicago, taking Caleb Williams. No surprise. Everybody has Caleb Williams number one. I do have Caleb Williams number one. The number one is the player ranking according to PFF. So, like the next player, you'll see another number beside him. Some of them have a parentheses and some of them don't. Washington, I got them taking Jalen Daniels. May change, but pretty much everybody's had him there. I have him as my sixth best quarterback, and the reason why is I'm worried about his health. He takes a lot of hard hits. He's not that thick. He's kind of skinny, and he just can't protect himself. Too many sacks. Just I don't see him lasting. So he's my number six guy. New England, I think they want to trade down. They've told everybody they want to trade down. Minnesota appears like they want to trade up. I don't know if they've announced it or not, but they appear like they want to trade up. I have them making a trade. And I'm going to go with all the rumors and say Minnesota takes J.J. McCarthy. Not much there. He is my fifth ranked quarterback. Not a lot of tape on him. Small hands. He's a size 9. Caleb Williams, by the way, is 6'1". But which is a little bit of concern of mine. And they're going to force him to start Caleb Williams. That's a bit of a concern of mine, too. But, anyways, on to J.J. McCarthy. He's my fifth rank, which is next to last, out of the six. Nothing special about him. I mean, he wins. He's good. He's good on third downs and stuff like that, but he doesn't have a super strong arm. He's not super accurate. He's not super anything. He's just kind of there. I like him. Don't get me wrong. I like all the top six quarterbacks. I think all of them can be all pros and Hall of Famers, but all of them can be bust too. Arizona, I think they're going to take Marvin Harrison Jr. They get a chance to take a gold jacket player, a Hall of Famer. They'll look at trading down, but nobody's going to offer them anything because Minnesota's, they're done. Nobody else is going to offer them that much. Same thing kind of with the Chargers. They were looking to move down. They wanted to move down, but they ended up taking Malik Neighbors because they just couldn't get a deal to work out for them. New York Giants. New York Giants appear to be in the quarterback market, but I don't think they want to trade up. That's me. Maybe I'm wrong, but I don't think they're going to give the draft capital to trade up. So I think they're going to sit there, and I think once they find out that Drake May is there, they're going to be all over him because they're going to be surprised that he lasted that long. Now we're 6 picks in, and we have 4 quarterbacks gone. There are only 2 more remaining. It becomes more of an impetus. If you want a quarterback, you might have to come up and get one. Tennessee, they're not in business. They're looking for an offensive lineman. They get the best offensive lineman on the board, Joe Alt. Joe Alt. And if Joe Alt isn't available, maybe then they talk about trading down. Maybe then they look at other things. They don't have to take an offensive tackle necessarily, although they probably would anyways, I think. But Joe Alt is just a no-brainer. Second generation, you got to love it. Atlanta, they're going to take a defensive player. They could probably trade down. Look, Chicago's, the Jets, New England, Denver, the Raiders. I mean, how many of those guys are really looking for defensive players? And there's not that much of a difference between, everybody has them down as an edge player. Well, there's not a lot of difference between 1, 2, and 3 as far as edge players, at least as far as I can tell. I've heard people back and forth on 1 and 2, and I think 3 is pretty close too. But I have them trading. And to me, the best one to trade back with is the team that's going to lose out on the quarterback. There's only 2 more left. You figure New England and Denver at 11 and 12, they're probably going to take the quarterbacks. So if I'm them, I'm going to take, I'm going to have the Raiders trade up with Atlanta because it makes sense to me. And they're going to take Michael Penix Jr., who is my second highest rated quarterback. I think a lot of teams are being quiet about how much they like him. I think Michael Penix Jr. is going to go a lot higher than what most people think. I think the news media and the fans are way off base. He's a great talent who's played great 6 years in a row. Only played 6 years in a row because he was injured the first 4. If he wasn't injured, he'd have been in the pros a couple of years ago. But because of the injuries, he kept on putting off coming into the pros. Played 6 years, all great. has the best arm in this class. Like I said, this is a really good class. I love the top six. He has the best arm out of the group. That's saying a lot. That really is saying a lot. And he played great, like I said, all 6 seasons. Chicago, they're they're probably going to trade down, but I haven't taken Roma Duze because everybody else. I really expect them to trade down if they can find somebody to trade down with, because they don't really have. They have 4 picks. The next pick is in like the 4th round, so this is basically the end of their draft. If they take a player here, they're basically done. The Jets, they want a receiver. I think they want to help Aaron Rodgers out. Rob Bowers, even though he plays tight end, is the best receiver available at this point. New England was probably hoping to get Michael Pence Jr., but Oakland jumped them, and so now they'll settle for Bo Nix. I'm not sure if they would take Bo Nix. I think Bo Nix either goes here or goes to Denver, one of the two. But I do think Bo Nix will go here based on Michael Penix Jr. being taken by 8. Penix Jr. falls, maybe Bo Nix falls too. Who knows? Although I do think Denver would really stop the Bo Nix fall. Atlanta. Oh, Denver. Sorry about that. Denver. I just haven't taken cornerback Cooper DeJean. I like Cooper DeJean, probably higher than most people. I'm not seeing many drafts having him this high, although PFF has him at number 8, so I guess I'm wrong. Anyways, I really like him. I think he's the type of guy I want on my team. The versatility, the safety, inside cornerback, outside cornerback. I love it. Atlanta. They still get their choice of edge players. They were going to take an edge player at 8. They moved back and they got their edge player anyways. So there are good trades and there are bad trades. New England, Minnesota. I don't like it from either team. If I'm New England, I stay and I take my quarterback. If I'm Minnesota, I don't want to give up that much draft capital. And all they gave up was the 23rd pick. That's all I had them trading. That's all I had them giving up. I know that's probably generous, although by the calculator, it seems to work out pretty good. Um, by the value draft trade value calculator, it seems to work out pretty good. But I'm not giving up that much talent to move up. The quarterbacks are just too close, in my opinion. I certainly have them stacked a certain way, and I certainly like Michael Penix a lot more than everybody else apparently. But that doesn't mean he's that far ahead of Jaden Daniels or that far ahead of JJ McCarthy. I just have him ahead of him. Atlanta, they're going to come back, and I haven't taken Latu to go back and forth between him and another guy. Ended up sticking with Latu. In New Orleans, I got offensive tackle Fuaga, and this is something you're going to see now for the rest of the draft. This is how the real draft is going to go, by the way. It's going to end with a lot of cornerbacks, a lot of edge players, and a lot of offensive tackles. Not all of it. You're going to see some receivers and stuff in there too. But basically, that's what's going to happen for the rest of the draft there. So it's about which one you like, which one fits your system too. Uh, Indianapolis, Mitchell, Queen and Mitchell. Like I said, I don't really know this class that well, so I'm not really going to act like I know a lot. Next, I got Seattle at 16, taking the 16th best player, Edge Turner, who could have gone to Lawton, with Atlanta. A lot of people have him going there at number 8. They have Turner going number 8. I just didn't see it that way for whatever reason when I was picking it out. Like I said, this is not like the most expert draft. I have Verse coming up next. Again, he's 19, he's 17, works out to a good place. Cincinnati's going to take an offensive lineman because Cincinnati needs backups. They have a good offensive line, but they can't stay healthy. So kind of hurt them. So they're going to take one, get one to secure the present. Helping the present be a backup. Probably come in and play. Probably get a lot of playing time this year, and then for the future. The Rams, I haven't taken defensive interior linemen. They lost Aaron Donald. They need to replace him. Might have switched it out with the other guy. I'm not really sure why I picked Newton, but I did. The Steelers, if they don't get a quarterback, and the quarterback is their number one need because they don't have a quarterback next year, they're all unrestricted free agents at the end of the season. I don't care what conversations they've had or what plans they had or what agreements they have. There are a million things that could change up between now and then. They can't guarantee that they're going to have a quarterback. So it is their highest need. Unfortunately, in my draft, none of them fell. Any of them fall, Pittsburgh should take them. 'Any of the 6, I would take Michael Penix, like I said, second highest quarterback. But if any of them fall, otherwise, Pittsburgh has to take a center. They need a plug and play center. There are three of them. Two of them are rated somewhere around 26, 27, or whatever, and the third one's around 47. But before Pittsburgh drafts at 51, they can't guarantee that they're going to get a plug and play center in the second round or beyond. So they need a center. They have to have a center. They don't have anybody there right now. I haven't taken Gardner Minshew or Graham Barton. Um, he's a guard center. You need him for center this year, but next year kind of gives you flexibility, and flexibility is nice. Miami, I got them taking Fashanu, an offensive tackle. There we go again. Probably, maybe a better prospect than Barton, but Barton is by far a bigger need. We don't need a tackle, not nearly as much as what people think they do. I got Philadelphia taking Terry and Arnold. Kind of zip through these ones because I don't really know a lot about them anyways. New England, I got them taking J.C. Latham, so they end up not in a bad place. New England gets Bo Nix, they get J.C. Latham. That's good. A couple of players, not just one, which is nice. Dallas took Amarius Mims. I do know a little bit about him. I would not draft him in the first round. He's already got a history of injuries. He's really tall at 6'8". He weighs a lot. Those types of people, the human body isn't set up to have that in their legs. They're just not, and that's going to cause him problems. I would not draft him. I would not take him. He might end up being the best tackle that ever played a game. I would not play him. I would not draft him. Not in the first round. Second round, yeah. But Dallas, they'll take a shot. Green Bay, I got him taking the cornerback. Nate Wiggins. Again, I'm just shooting darts here. Tampa Bay, I got them taking a center, Jackson Powers Johnson. Steelers might consider him at 20, depending on which one they have rated highest. That's the guy I should take. I like the versatility of Barton, but it doesn't matter. The best center is the one that they should take. Arizona, I got them taking a wide receiver. Probably a mistake because they took Marvin Harrison earlier. But, not the worst of things to get two wide receivers. If I had to do this mock again, quite frankly, I would change that, but it is what it is. Buffalo, high trade up possibility because they have a lot of draft picks. I have them taking wide receiver Brian Thomas Jr. Turns out they did good not to trade up because at 28 to get Brian Thomas Jr., that is a steal. I mean, he's at 25 on their board. I think he's a little bit higher than mine. Detroit, I love the way Detroit and Baltimore and San Francisco and Kansas City, well, not so much Kansas City, but the next three teams, I really like how they draft historically. Detroit, I have them taking the cornerback. I haven't taken Kool-Aid. Kind of fits. Baltimore, they always get the player that drops. And in my draft, nobody dropped, so they probably actually try to trade out. But anyways, if they're stuck in the position because nobody fell to them, I would have them taking a wide receiver. Another wide receiver would be good. San Francisco, I got them taking a cornerback, and Kansas City, obviously a wide receiver. This is how I see the draft, or at least how I think I see the draft. The quarterbacks I feel good about. Everything else is kind of shaky. The Steelers I feel pretty good about. They're either going to take a quarterback or they're going to take the best center. They kind of have to. What else? I am completely different than everybody else with the quarterbacks. Um, when I look at quarterbacks, I look at what could cause them to fail. Because unlike every other position, all it takes is one thing. Like I like Michael Penix. He has the best arm. That doesn't guarantee success. The best arm, but if you're 6'0" or 5'8", you're not going to be good. If you can't read the defenses, you can't good. If you're inaccurate, if you can't get along with players, if you don't work hard, you're not going to work out. There are a million things you got to do to be a great quarterback. And if any one of them fails, boom, you're failed. You're a defensive lineman, maybe you're not great at this. Maybe you're not a great run stopper. But if you can get to the passer, you have a place. You can start. You can be productive. Maybe it's the other way around. Maybe you can't get to them, but you can stop the run. At least you're productive. Quarterbacks are either very good or a bust. So I believe in taking chances on them. I very much believe in Michael Penix Jr. I think everybody is way underestimating how good he is. And that's pretty much all I got. So I'm going to say goodbye. Goodbye.